And a very pleasant good afternoon, baseball fans, and welcome to another edition of Henley Baseball on 104.3 and 960 Sports and on mybasin.com. Glad to be with you today from Phoenix, Oregon, more like Talent, Oregon, just a few miles more south of Phoenix, as the Hornets are on the road for a Skyline Conference affair against the Phoenix Pirates. These two teams played earlier this week. Henley defeated Phoenix to the tune of 17-4. Mercy ruled them, was done with 5 innings, but today a doubleheader on our first leg of a doubleheader scheduled for a noon first pitch, with the second one to follow probably about 20 minutes after the first one concludes here today at Culver Fields in Talent. Glad to be with you today. It's a wonderful day for baseball. Hardly a cloud in sight here in the Rogue Valley. Take a look at the forecast coming up in just a few minutes as we step aside. When we come back, we'll introduce you to the Kyle's Lawn Care starting lineups, and we will get ready for first pitch as your coverage of Henley baseball continues on 104.3 and 960 Sports and on mybasin.com.
Parent of a high school athlete, I've given up trying to get pictures of my kid playing sports. It's nearly impossible to take pictures and enjoy the game. There is a solution, though. God's Gifts Photography attends high school sporting events in the Basin to take individual and team action photos at a great price. Search God's Gifts 2 on Facebook to learn more. They'll come and capture your athlete in action, creating those frameable lifelong memories so you can watch and just enjoy the moment. Call 541-281-2206 to get your athlete on their schedule. God's Gifts Photography.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and Little League teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars, there are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, to retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
At mybasin.com, we bring you the power of local radio,
the pace and reach of social media,
the information of 24-hour news,
and the excitement of local sports.
We do this with a team of radio professionals that is second to none.
Klamath Falls is a community that we love and a place that we are proud to call home.
Klamath Falls deserves a media group that is as committed to you as you are to Klamath Falls.
mybasin.com is your go-to place for news,
sports, events, and everything going on at home in Klamath Falls.
Well, let's get ahead and introduce you to the Kyle's Lawn Care starting lineups as we're here at Culver Fields in Talent, Oregon, ahead of this Skyline Conference game between the Hornets and the Pirates. We'll start with the visiting Henley Hornets today, and their lineup goes like this. Leading off at shortstop is Connor Shively. Mark Carpenter, the third baseman, bats second, followed by Jacoby Takini, the catcher, hitting third. Bo Pyle, the pitcher, bats cleanup for Henley, followed by Corbin Hamilton, the first baseman, hitting fifth. Ian Meyer, the designated hitter, is batting sixth, followed by Carson Pimley in right field, hitting seventh. Derek Cox is at second base, batting eighth, followed by Ryan Douglas in center field. The Hornets will have to go up against Chris Phillips on the mound. We'll take a look at him in just a moment as we now introduce you to the 9 out there for Phoenix. It is Connor Cunningham at third base, and leading off, the shortstop Sam Schiltz bats second. Chris Phillips is the starting pitcher. He hits third, followed by Luke Jennings, the second baseman, hitting cleanup. Caden Sousa is at first, batting fifth. Hitting sixth is Caden Cunningham, the catcher, followed by Caden Darcy in left field, batting seventh. Theo Hodgson is in the designated hitter spot, batting eighth, and Luca Patron is in center field, and he rounds out the starting 9 for Phoenix. They go up against Bo Pyle on the mound. Want to make a quick note for those of you listening on the radio today on 104.3 and 960 Sports. Thanks for finding our broadcast this afternoon. Unfortunately, the internet connection here at Culver Fields is less than ideal to get a live stream up and running like we typically do on mybasin.com. But instead, having to settle for the live radio broadcast, and we are recording today's game, so still running all that stuff. We will have the full broadcast of both games today uploaded on mybasin.com after the conclusion of games today. Probably get it uploaded sometime tonight. So, again, if you were looking for it on the website and you found your way to the radio, appreciate you. It's not a you problem. It is a me problem, just unable to get the correct internet speed out here. So, again, thank you for finding us as we get ready for first pitch here on 104.3 and 960 Sports. The leadoff hitter, Connor Shively, steps in, the left-handed bat for the Hornets, looking to get him started. And a good timeout last time for the Hornets, a 17-4 victory over Phoenix, but the Pirates looking to change things up a little bit today as Chris Phillips fires in ball one to get us started. A right-hander fires in the next pitch. Shively pulls it into right field, and that bounces in for a leadoff single, and that's how we get things going today for the Hornets. I want to take a look at Chris Phillips on the mound for the season. This is his third start this year, his seventh overall appearance. He's got a 1-0 record, 16 and a third innings pitched this year, and an ERA of 3.8. A leadoff single surrendered for Connor Shively, or to Connor Shively, rather, is going to bring up Mark Carpenter. Phillips now having to work out of the stretch early. Carpenter takes a pitch on the outer third for strike one. I've said it a few times this season. It's so hard to get through this Henley order in any particular inning without allowing a run. It's because they swing the bats so darn well. And look at Carpenter specifically, leading the conference in batting average at .525. This time, wraps one to third, hops over the head of the third baseman, Cunningham, and into left field. And I'd call that one a base hit for Carpenter as Shively moves up to second. Carpenter on first, back-to-back singles to start the first inning for Henley. And there you go. It's why they're so dangerous. We're about 6 pitches or less into the game, and Henley already has a runner in scoring position for the league leader in runs batted in, the young Jacoby Tacchini. The freshman has 20 runs batted in this season. And if you go back and you look at the game from Wednesday, well, he had an RBI in that game, too, a double in the third inning of that one, extended Henley's lead. This is the one he takes low in the dirt for ball one. Now, I was talking about Henley as a group, and certainly dangerous, hitting .362 as a team. Just about 47% is their on-base percentage. These guys get on base a ton and just make it hard for opposing pitchers. Here's the 1-0 on the way to Tacchini. Ground ball to third. Up with it is Cunningham. He's going to go to first and get the back runner. And I believe he tagged Shively as well, so a 5-3 double play. Puts a damper on things for the Hornets in the first. They'll still have a runner in scoring position, though now with 2 away for Bo Pyle. It was Cunningham who fielded the ball at third, applied the tag to Shively, having to advance, and then making the throw in time to get Tacchini. So here's Bo Pyle, and want to talk about a guy who's on a hot streak as of late. It's this young man right here. He waits the first delivery from the right-hander Phillips and swings through it for strike one. Pyle in his last, I believe, what's now 4 games. I'm going to double-check this statistic for you real quick. In his last 3 games, 6 extra base hits. This time he gets a hold of one, sends it deep to left field. Darcy turns around, and he will let that one get over his head and off the wall. Carpenter scores from second. Pyle winds up at second. The throw into the infield is a wild one, but Pyle going to stay put with a 2-bagger, and an RBI gives Henley a 1-run lead in the top of the first inning. And there you go. How about another extra base hit for the young man there? He is seeing the ball so well lately, and for him, double number 6 on the season. That's second most on the team. And now 12 runs batted in for Bo Pyle. Henley leads 1-0 in the top of the first. In steps Corbin Hamilton for the Hornets as he takes a pitch outside, the count 1-0. Hamilton, looking at the season for him, bats .317. 12 of his 13 base hits this season have been singles. He takes an off-speed pitch outside for a strike, evens the count 1-1. Hamilton, 9 RBIs this year. That's in the 5-hole for the Hornets in a wide batting stance for the sophomore. Here's the 1-1. Slider, Hamilton chased that one low and away out of the zone. A ball and 2 strikes. Having to step out of the box for that one, looking to recollect. Third base coach and head coach of the Hornets, Sean Teeters, offering some words of encouragement for his young player. Probably chased the pitch he didn't want to there. Now has to settle back in for the 1-2. This time Hamilton bounces one to third. Cunningham up with it. He is going to apply the tag to Pyle, trying to get to third base, and that will end the inning. But the Hornets score 1 on 3 base hits. No runners stranded. We go to the bottom of the first with Henley in a 1-0 lead on 104.3 and 960 Sports.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and little league teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars. There are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, to retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
Here we are getting ready for the bottom of the first inning on 104.3 and 960 Sports. Henley with a 1-0 lead. And as the Pirates try to get back that run, it'll be Connor Cunningham, Sam Schiltz, and Chris Phillips due up as they go up against the right-hander for the Hornets, Mr. Bo Pyle, making his 4th start of the season. He's a 2-0 record with 11 2/3 innings pitched coming into the season, or coming into this game today, and a 2.4 ERA. I want to take a little bit of a deeper dive here on Bo Pyle. Last time I saw him pitch was against Mazama back on April 8th. A 4-inning outing. Saw him pick up the win. Gave up 1 base hit in that one. He also pitched against Klamath Union back on April 3rd. That was 2 2/3 innings pitched. Gave up no hits and no runs. Here's the first offering to Caden Cunningham. That'll miss downstairs. 1-0. Taking a look at Cunningham. Last time out for him, it was 0 for 1 at the plate. He struck out. He was hit by a pitch, and he walked in the game back on Wednesday. Here, now in a 1-1 count. Flares 1 foul. The count now moves to a ball and 2 strikes against Connor Cunningham, the third baseman for the Phoenix Pirates. And we'll go around and introduce you to the Henley defense at the conclusion of this at-bat. Bo Pyle in a 1-2 count. Kicks, delivers, curveball lifted in the air, out of play, foul behind first base. So we'll do it again. A ball and 2 strikes. Pitch misses high. Now a 2-2 count to Pyle. Checks his swing and fouls it off. Count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. Looking at Connor as he takes strike 3. About to tell you, he's the team's leading hitter, but this time goes down on strikes in a 2-2 count. Pyle gets his first man, now has to face Sam Schiltz. Looking at Schiltz this season, batting .207. He's played in every game this year for Phoenix. Sends a line drive at a center field. Douglas moving over underneath it, makes the catch for the second out. Let's take a look around the diamond for the Henley Hornets with Jacoby Tacchini, the other half of the battery for Henley, followed by Mark Carpenter at third. Connor Shively is at short. Derek Cox at second base and Corbin Hamilton at first. Hunter Glidden is in left field. Ryan Douglas is in center, and Carson Pimley is in right for the Hornets. As Chris Phillips settles into the box for the first pitch. Flares one foul, the count 0-1. Probably talk about this a few more times throughout the game today, but a couple of new names in the order for Henley defensively. Hunter Glidden in left, Derek Cox in center. Henley a little bit shorthanded today, so having to dive into the bench and the JV squad in some cases as the 0-1 pitch misses downstairs. Now 1-1. Derek Cox replacing Carson Sims at second, and in left field, it's Glidden who replaces Max Price. Here's a ground ball up the middle. Shively trying to get to it, but it slides underneath his glove and into center field. And a two-out base hit for Chris Phillips brings up Luke Jennings. Shively trying to make a play on that, going into the gap, but just out of reach for him. So a two-out single, and we'll see a runner come in for Phoenix as well. That looked like Marsing heading out there. So Marsing over there at first, and Jennings at the plate. Looking at Luke Jennings this season so far, a .320 hitter. And 5 RBIs is, I believe, most on the team at this point in the year. Here's the first pitch, and it's down and away, 1-0. No surprise, the cleanup hitter having the most RBIs on the team. Pyle comes set with the 1-0, kicks, fires. This is a slow roller foul down the third base line, and the count is now even at 1 apiece. Ball on a strike as Jennings called time before settling back into the box. Tacchini delivers the sign to his pitcher. Move over to first, and they got him. Phillips leaning at second. And, at first, rather, and they pick him off to end the inning. A base hit for Phoenix goes nowhere as they go to the top of the second inning, trailing Henley 1-0 on 104.3 and 960 Sports and on mybasin.com.
Wait, all I do is wait. So lonely, I just sigh and moan. Seems like I've been waiting forever, wondering if you're coming home. I just saw your face, I know you're coming home. I swear there is no place that feels as good as home. And then I heard your voice, I know you're coming home. I know you're coming home.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coldwell Banker, where home begins.
Josh Eldridge back with you for Henley Baseball on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com. Henley leads 1-0 heading to the top of the second inning. Leading off for the Hornets is Ian Meyer, Carson Pimley, and Derek Cox. Henley had something brewing for themselves in the top half of the first inning as Meyer takes a pitch high, 1-0. It was back-to-back singles for the top of the Henley order as that pitch finds the outer third, count even at 1. But a double play sort of stifled that momentum. Henley was able to plate one run in the first off a Bo Pyle double, as that pitch misses wide there, 2-1. But I'm sure Chris Phillips, the man on the mound for Phoenix, looking to avoid a crooked number. You let Henley score one, that's doable. Let him score 0, that's a big-time blessing for Phoenix. But for the Hornets, just trying to keep a little bit of momentum that they had found in the first going. Again, that double play, kind of a rally killer. They were still able to score one, though, and that's good for this team. As strike two is called against Ian Meyer. Fastball on the outer third is now the designated hitter for Henley. Hitting for Glidden has a full count. Phillips, the delivery, misses down and in. And a leadoff walk given to Ian Meyer. And that will bring up Carson Pimley. Pimley on the season, a .344 hitter. He's having a great start to the year. Just a guy who puts the ball in play. Pimley trying to get the job done here. Shows bunt, but takes a strike on the outer third. Says something about Pimley where you can still be a .344 hitter and have the most strikeouts on the team. He's a young player. It's going to happen. You're going to strike out. But he's still hitting the ball well. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Pimley. He showed bunt on the first one. Doing it again here. This time he pulls back in time, and the count even at 1. After Pimley, it's Derek Cox for the first at-bat that I've seen him in this season. Excited to see that freshman take an AB here. Talk a little bit about him when he steps up to the plate. Phillips takes a look at the runner over at first. It's Meyer before coming set. Now delivers to Pimley. It's a breaking ball. Pimley didn't get all of it. A fly ball to second base actually drops. That's going to allow Meyer to be thrown out at second. He thought that fly ball would have been caught by somebody. Instead was sort of caught in no man's land. But Carson Pimley does reach on the fielder's choice. And so still a runner at first. Now one out for the aforementioned Derek Cox. I believe this is Cox's first at-bat of the season at the varsity level. Typically, he's a guy who's going to play at the JV level as there's a meeting on the mound for Phoenix head coach Bill Hutchinson. And while we have a moment, I want to remind you today's broadcast brought to you by Abby's Legendary Pizza. If you're looking for a great place to eat, head to one of Abby's Legendary Pizza locations for some of the best pizza in the basin at 1919 Austin Street or 2226 Shalleck Street near OIT. Abby's Legendary Pizza is a proud supporter of high school sports. All right, so now we get the at-bat for Derek Cox. Like I said, his first at-bat this season. The right-hander freshman settles in against Phillips. Bats with a runner on first and one away. His team leads 1-0. And they're going to say, I believe that hit Cox on the knob of the bat. Henley voicing their dissatisfaction, but Cox looked like he was hit on the wrist, but actually hit the knob of his bat. And so he's in an 0-1 count now after technically fouling that pitch off. Here's the pitch. Should be strike two, although the scoreboard here reads 1-1. But as I understand it, it should have been strike two. Regardless, Cox settles back in. The pitch. On the move to second, Pimley is going to be safe underneath the tag. The throw took the shortstop Schiltz a little bit off the base at second, and it allowed Pimley to slide underneath it. And so he's in scoring position, and now a 1-2 count. At least that's what I have. That's going to miss low. 2-2. Still a little bit confused about the count here. It reads 3-1 here at the ball field, but again, just going back to that first pitch, thought it would have been a foul ball. Here's one lifted into left field. Coming in is Darcy. He will make the catch. And the throw to second to try to get Pimley, who is tagging, is going to wind up in right field. Pimley's advancing to third. The throw home is going to get there, but Pimley's going to stay at third. Little heads-up base running there by Pimley. Thought he might have been caught out there, but as a matter of fact, able to advance to third now for Ryan Douglas. So it's a fly-out plus a Phoenix error that allowed Pimley to advance to third. Now here's the first pitch to Ryan Douglas. That one, a two-seam fastball, misses upstairs, 1-0. Looking at Ryan Douglas this season, batting .200, has worked to get that batting average up over the Mendoza line, as they say. 200 is that mark, and Douglas now in a 2-0 count. Played in all 11 games for Henley, and 5 of his 6 base hits have been singles. Here he fouls off the 2-0, down the line 2-1. Again, the first leg of a doubleheader today from Phoenix. And these two teams will meet one more time at the end of the season in the final regular season day. Here's the 2-1 pitch to Douglas. Off-speed pitch, started out of the zone, broke right back across the plate, in for a strike looking against Douglas. Now he'll have to be a bit defensive in a 2-strike count as Connor Shively waits on deck. Here's the pitch. Hit in the air towards right. That could be trouble for Buckmaster, but he makes the catch over by the foul line to retire the side. The Hornets, no base hits, but they leave a runner stranded. They lead 1-0 as we go to the bottom of the second on 104.3 and 960 Sports and on mybasin.com.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool.
On the field.
Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah! Be great.
Participate!
At mybasin.com, we bring you the power of local radio,
The pace and reach of social media,
The information of 24-hour news,
and the excitement of local sports.
We do this with a team of radio professionals that is second to none.
Klamath Falls is a community that we love and a place that we are proud to call home.
Klamath Falls deserves a media group that is as committed to you as you are to Klamath Falls.
mybasin.com is your go-to place for news,
sports, events, and everything going on at home in Klamath Falls.
Josh Eldridge back with you. Bottom of the second inning here on 104.3 and 960 Sports. Henley leads Phoenix 1-0. Want to remind you that this presentation of Henley Baseball is brought to you by the Pacific Power Foundation, who donated nearly $70,000 in 2024 to organizations like the Klamath County School District, the Oregon Tech Foundation, and the Favell Museum. Big thanks to Pacific Power for coming on board this season and supporting Henley Baseball. As we get ready for the middle of the Phoenix order, it's 4-5-6, Luke Jennings, Caden Sousa, and Caden Cunningham. Again, Phoenix trailing 1-0. Henley scored their only run in the top of the first. Here's the pitch from Bo Pyle. Flared out towards right field, through the infield, and Jennings is aboard with a leadoff single for the Pirates. This will bring up Caden Sousa, second on the team in batting for the Pirates, hitting .333 to start the season. Although he missed a fair chunk of the beginning of the season, only played in 6 games so far for Phoenix, the right-hander steps in. Here he will take a strike up in the zone. 0-1. Big gap on the right side of the infield if Sousa is able to poke one the other way, with the second baseman Cox shading quite a way to second, and of course the first baseman Hamilton holding the runner at first. Here's the pitch from Pyle. This one's hit in the air, foul territory behind first, but out of play. And so it's an 0-2 count to Caden Sousa. Looking at him, the last time that these two teams met was back on Wednesday. Sousa was 0 for 2 with a couple of punch-outs. Now in an 0-2 count against Bo Pyle as he comes set. Kicks, delivers, fastball high, misses, 1-2. Pretty decent congregation of Hornets fans out here today. It's a beautiful day for baseball in the Rogue Valley. 62 degrees today as our vantage point here at Culver Fields faces north in the press box. And it's always interesting coming here to Culver Fields. Here's the 1-2 from Pyle. That pitch is hit in the air, right field. Should be playable for Pimley. Back a few steps, continuing to go back and makes the catch. And that'll be the first out. Here's Caden Cunningham stepping into the box now for Phoenix, the starting catcher. I talk here about Culver Fields. It's a great place to play. It's a wonderful view of the ranging hills and mountains, beautiful greenery behind us, behind the center field fence, I should say, as a hit and run looks to be foul. The count 0-1. And one of the interesting things about this field, I believe, I'm trying to jog my memory here, the only one in the Skyline Conference, and that is true, the only field in the Skyline Conference that has the infield grass grow over the base paths. And so there's actually no base paths to first and third base that are cut out. It's all just infield grass down the line. So kind of interesting, a little bit different. Might slow the ball down a little bit, might slow the runners down a little bit. But always have found it interesting about this facility that that's the case. It's just sort of unique in that way. Reminds you of the old Minneapolis Twin Stadium. I want to say the Metrodome, if I remember correctly. Same with the Toronto Blue Jays before they played in the Rogers Center. Here's the 0-2. It's a bouncing ball out towards second. Cox up with it, throwing to second for one. They get the lead runner, but that is all they'll get. Now 2 outs and Caden Darcy to bat. Fielder's choice allowed Cunningham to reach first. Jennings was out at second. And here's Darcy with 2 away and a runner aboard at first. His team trails 1-0 in the bottom of the second inning. Pyle set with it. Kicks, fires. That pitch called a strike. 0-1. Nice delivery there for Pyle. Darcy gathering the sign from his coach down at third base. Move over to first, and back safely is Cunningham. Theo Hodgson is on deck. He's the designated hitter today, and timeout called. Let's see, it looks like Corbin Hamilton, I think he's asking to switch his glove. Something must be wrong with his typical glove. Interesting there, but we having someone take a look at that? Is there a hole in that thing? I don't know. It's been passed around about 3 different coaches in the dugout. Must be something curious with that glove. Regardless, we're back and ready to play baseball. It's an 0-1 count to Caden Darcy as Pyle kicks, fires, fouled straight back. The count 0-2. Wind blowing a little bit towards the east. Here at Culver Field, that'd be over the the right field fence. So that pitch misses downstairs, 1-2. Dimensions here at Culver Field, 320 down either line. And looks like 385 to straightaway center field. Here's the 1-2. Ground ball back up the middle. Shively is not going to get there. Bounces off his glove and into center field. And a 2-out base hit for Caden Darcy. Puts a runner in scoring position for Theo Hodgson. It's what they teach you to do. Put the ball right back where it came from. Up the mound, over second base. The shortstop Shively dove for it. Got a glove on it, but still wound up into center field for that Darcy single. Now Hodgson bats. Looking at Hodgson on the season. Still looking for his first base hit in 16 at-bats. First pitch is in there for a strike, 0-1. Going to give some credit. I'm not sure of the man's name down there, and so I apologize. But the home plate umpire today doing a good job being vocal back there. You always know exactly what's going on, and I can appreciate that. As Bo Pyle, he's going to step off, look the runner back to second. That's Caden Cunningham out there. And Darcy aboard at first. 2 on for Phoenix. They trail by 1 in the bottom of the second inning. Pitch from Pyle is fisted foul down the first base side. The count moves now to 0-2. Waiting on deck, if this inning continues, is the Phoenix center fielder, Luca Petrone. Pyle looking in, gathers the sign from Tacchini. Comes together, now delivers a fastball that missed downstairs, 1-2. Pyle's been going to the well on the 2-strike pitch. Hasn't been able to find the zone on that pitch yet, but I like the location. That hard fastball low, just trying to produce a ground ball to get out of the inning. It's a good thought, and we'll see where he goes here now on the 1-2. It's an off-speed pitch that's lifted in the air, playable to first base. Corbin Hamilton will make the catch in foul territory to end the inning. The Pirates get a couple of base hits, but no runs come across. They leave 2 stranded, and they trail 1-0. Heading to the third on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com.
It starts to warm up outside, it's time to tackle your lawn. And Kyle's Lawn Care is who to contact. Kyle's been doing lawn care in Klamath Falls for over 9 years. He offers a variety of services designed to make your life easier. Kyle's Lawn Care offers weekly mowing jobs, which includes mowing, edging, and blowing off sidewalks, snow removal, big cleanup jobs, dump runs, and more. At Kyle's Lawn Care, they strive to give each job their all and go the extra mile to exceed their customers' expectations. To get an estimate, you can call or text 541-281-3623. Kyle's Lawn Care.
Introducing Smith Bates Marcom Solutions, your trusted partner in marketing and communication. We specialize in crafting compelling campaigns, eye-catching graphics, and impactful branding materials.
Smith Bates is like working with dependable friends. They always help us build our professional image.
Through the innovative strategies that the team at Smith Bates suggested, we've been able to give the brand at Calor the boost that it desperately needed.
Unlock your potential with Smith Bates Marcom Solutions.
Getting ready for the top of the third inning between the Henley Hornets and the Phoenix Pirates. It's 1-0, and Henley leads. They scored their only run in the top of the first inning, but it's those guys due up in this inning. Top of the order, Connor Shively, Mark Carpenter, and Jacoby Tacchini. Want to say thank you again for those of you who found us today on 104.3 and 960 Sports. Typically, we would have the live video stream on mybasin.com, but some technical difficulties have limited us to just a radio broadcast today. As the first pitch into Connor Shively misses low. 1-0 the count. So here's the deal. We are still recording this game and got everything running as normal. Just going to have to upload it at a later date. So if you're listening here on 104.3 and 960 Sports, don't worry. It's not a you problem that you can't find the game. It's intentional. We will have the game uploaded on mybasin.com after the games today. Here's a line drive down the first base line that winds up foul. The count now 2-1. Again, it's a doubleheader today, so you'll have to wait just a moment, probably sometime tonight. I'd venture to guess that we'll get these games uploaded. And the delivery on its way from Phillips on the 1-2. That's hit hard, right field. Moving over is Buckmaster into foul territory. He will make the catch for the first out. This will bring up Mark Carpenter. He singled and came around and scored the only run of the ball game so far. Looking to get a rally started for his team in the third inning. Phillips looks in, and the first pitch to Carpenter underway. It is low in the dirt for a ball. 1-0. This one rolls foul. And Carpenter's previous single, just doing some quick math, found this stat that last hit was his 20th of the season. And so way to go for Carpenter there. Last hit being number 20 on the year. 11 singles, 8 doubles, and a home run. Here's a curveball. Carpenter got all of that one. Sends it deep to left field. Back near the wall. The left fielder, Darcy, brings it in. Boy, can't hit a ball much harder than that and have it come back in the park. That was a loud second out, bringing up Jacoby Tacchini. That is 2 hard-hit balls deep to the outfield that wound up in the leather of one of the Pirates' players. See if Jacoby Tacchini can find anything different. First pitch, 0-1. This one, Tacchini sends on a line into left field and a 2-out single for the Henley catcher. And that'll bring up Bo Pyle. Going to have Porter Frost come in and run for Tacchini, as has been customary this season. And now it's Bo Pyle, who hit a 2-out double back in the first inning to drive in a run. Porter Frost aboard at first for Pyle. Here's the pitch. Curveball. Pyle watches it miss high for a ball. 1-0. Phillips been going to that pitch. It's sort of a higher curveball. It's a dangerous pitch unless you get guys guessing at it. But really, that's just a hanger that guys can take advantage of. Carpenter almost did it earlier this inning. Here's the 1-0. Two-seam fastball sent down the line, foul. Into left field, and the count now a ball and a strike. Pyle having a good campaign this year, .391 hitter, 11 RBIs, and like I said, recently a monster in the extra base hits category. Now has 7 extra base hits in his last, now 4 games. Move over to first, and Frost back safely. Just looking at the last couple of games for Bo Pyle, been talking about this streak of just really solid hitting, but was 3 for 5 against Mazama, 2 for 3 against Hidden Valley, 1 for 4 against Phoenix, but it was a double. He's just hitting the ball so well in these last handful of games. Here he takes one low, the count 2-1. After Bo in the Henley order, it's Corbin Hamilton. Another move over to first. Frost in trouble, but he gets back safely. Still 2-1. Funny story about Bo. I was calling a Henley basketball game. I believe it was this past winter. Is at Mazama High School. And the Henley student section was filing in behind us, as they often do on the mezzanine, at Mazama High School. And Bo Pyle walks up to our broadcast station. We'll say here after this 2-1 pitch to Pyle. Phillips takes a long pause and delivers. Pyle out in front of that pitch. Frost trying to swipe second and does. So a swinging strike and a stolen base puts Frost in scoring position for Bo Pyle. But he walks up to me at this basketball game. He shakes my hand, says, "Do you remember me?" I said, "Yes." And all he said to me as he was being loud, he was laughing, all of his buddies. He goes, "I'm that guy." And I said, "I know you are, man. You're a monster on the mound." He goes, "I just know I'm that guy." I said, I believe you. Here's the pitch. Pyle swings and misses at strike 3. And he will be thrown out at first, and that will end the inning. Hornets still looking for their second run of the ball game. A base hit doesn't lead them there. And the third will go to the bottom half on 104.3 and 960 Sports and on mybasin.com.
The cars we drive play an important part of our everyday. Whether we're going to work, dropping off the kids at school, or maybe even on that first date. Vehicles we drive play an important role in all of that. And that's why at Klamath Falls Subaru, we are so passionate about getting you the long-lasting vehicle that you will love. When you come to our store, you'll find that every department is dedicated to caring for our customers, which is why I can proudly send anyone here knowing that they will be treated like family. Stop by and say hi. When you come to Klamath Falls Subaru, you're coming home.
Josh Eldridge back with you in the bottom of the third inning here at Culver Field in Talent, Oregon. 104.3 and 960 Sports. Henley leads 1-0 against the Phoenix Pirates. Due up this inning for Phoenix is Luca Petrone, Connor Cunningham, and Sam Schiltz. Always a wonderful day for baseball. The Rogue Valley, it's maybe the baseball capital of Oregon, I'd say, with so many great players coming through this area, playing for all the different teams, whether it's the Medford Mustangs, American Legion team, the Medford Rogues. You go through the history of great Medford baseball players and just Jackson County as a whole. The list is endless in a sense. I mean, guys who've just made stops through here, think about minor league baseball back in the day. So many great ball players have come through and played here in the Rogue Valley. Here's the 1-1, and that will find the zone 1-2. Interesting rumblings in the professional baseball scene, too, as that maybe the Eugene Emeralds would make a play to come down here to Medford as a swing and a miss sets down Petrone. Pyle gets the strikeout to start the third inning. Eugene Emeralds were sort of forced into a situation where they had to leave PK Park, where the Oregon Ducks play, based off of the new regulations in minor league baseball. PK Park just didn't meet some of the other requirements that are outside of the baseball field itself, having to do with the clubhouse and bathrooms, etc. But as Connor Cunningham steps in, he takes ball one. Here's the pitch from Pyle. That one's hit hard to left field. Glidden moving over. He will make the catch on the run for the second out in the inning. But I think that a minor league baseball team returning here to Medford would be fantastic. And the Emeralds are searching for a new home. And, the city of Medford is so gearing towards sports tourism. You know, the big Rogue X type kind of recreational facility that's opened up down here as Sam Schiltz steps in, takes a strike. 0-1, 2 outs in the inning. And of course, U.S. Cellular Fields, or Lithia Driveway Fields as it's known now, that's run by the city of Medford as well. That pitch misses down, 1-1. So they're doing lots of things to try to bring and really promote sports tourism here in the Rogue Valley. I'd say minor league baseball might just be the absolute pinnacle of that for this area. Here's the 1-1. That one's looked at for strike 2. 1-2 the count to Sam Schiltz. He's 0 for 1 today. The pitch. That one's hit in the air. Shallow center field. Could be trouble. Coming in is the right fielder Pimley to call everybody off and make the catch to end the inning. Pirates down in order in the third, heading to the fourth with Henley leading by 1 on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
Sports was kind of what defined me as a person. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see two things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys and I want to see my high school. And those are the two memories that stick out the most to me.
As a parent of a high school athlete, I've given up trying to get pictures of my kid playing sports. It's nearly impossible to take pictures and enjoy the game. There is a solution, though. God's Gifts Photography attends high school sporting events in the Basin to take individual and team action photos at a great price. Search God's Gifts 2 on Facebook to learn more. They'll come and capture your athlete in action, creating those frameable lifelong memories so you can watch and just enjoy the moment. Call 541-281-2206 to get your athlete on their schedule. God's Gifts Photography.
Josh Eldridge back with you on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com. Ready for the top of the fourth inning in a 1-0 ball game. It's Corbin Hamilton, Ian Meyer, and Carson Pimley due up this inning. Corbin Hamilton leads down a bunt and an infield single for Corbin Hamilton. Hornets playing a little small ball to try to get guys on base here in the fourth inning, and it works with a bunt single for Corbin Hamilton. Wanted to take a quick look at the line score for the game so far for Henley. They've scored a run on 5 hits now. No errors. They've left 2 runners on base. For Phoenix, no runs on 3 hits, 1 error, and they have left 2 runners on base as well, as we now get to take a look at Ian Meyer with a runner on first and nobody out. Meyer looking to lay down a bunt. He will take a pitch outside, 1-0. He tried to lay down a bunt, too. Hornets looking to just get guys over and get them in here in the fourth inning. They haven't scored since the first. Phillips throwing well against a dangerous Henley order. Here's the 1-0 pitch to to Meyer on its way. Lays that one down foul. And so now 1-1. See if the bunt, it probably would still be on here for Ian. He's without an official at-bat today. In his previous plate appearance, he walked and was out on the base paths. Phillips shakes off the first sign from Cunningham, now comes set. Move over to first and back safely is Corbin. Corners in for Phoenix as Meyer shows bunt again. A perfectly placed bunt. Throw to first is not in time. Meyer beats out the infield single. The first baseman and Phillips, they both can't believe it. And Coach Hutchinson for Phoenix going to come out of the dugout, only a couple of steps. He may try to have a conversation about this play. Pretty close play at first. Bill Hutchinson might have a little bit of a gripe out there. I think that the pitcher beat Meyer to the bag, but we'll see. No challenge, no discussion with the base umpire, just the home plate umpire. And so back-to-back infield singles for Hamilton and Meyer puts 2 runners on for Carson Pimley. Pimley, in his previous at-bat, reached on a fielder's choice. Here he shows bunt again. This time gives it right out to the pitcher. He'll turn to throw to third. No one's home, so he'll take it to first to get Pimley. But in the meantime, Hamilton and Meyer each advance into scoring position for Derek Cox. Cox, in his first at-bat, flew out to left field. It's a second baseman wearing number 3, but it is not Carson Sims. Unfortunate news from back earlier this week. You may remember Carson was hit by a pitch in his wrist earlier in the year, or I guess earlier in the week, really, and found out that had a little bit of a fracture on his wrist. So he is going to be out for the next few weeks. Unsure the exact timetable for Carson Sims, but he had a great start to the season. Unfortunate that it's been put on pause, at least for the time being. But a freshman like Derek Cox, I'm sure ready and willing and excited to step into his spot and get a start here at the varsity level. Again, just a freshman. Great to see this for Henley. Bats with 2 runners in scoring position and a 1-1 count. Here's the pitch. That one misses down and away. The count 2-1. Big time at bat for Cox, trying to extend his team's lead and add a little insurance here in the fourth. Heading the count 2-0 with Ryan Douglas waiting on deck. Here's the pitch. Curveball misses in, and actually, pardon me, that's a walk. Bases are loaded for Ryan Douglas. Henley with the small ball strategy, and it's put them in the position I'm sure they wanted with the bases loaded and a guy like Douglas at the plate. And a great time to sort of change the direction of the season for Ryan Douglas as he fouls that one off 0-1. Douglas hasn't had a bad year by any stretch of the word. Just a little bit of a slower start. Right now batting 200 and is 0 for 1 today. But an RBI opportunity here. Looking to come up big for his squad. Corners in for Phoenix. Middle infield at double play depth. With the bases loaded. Douglas bounces one to third. Charging in is Cunningham. He's going to come home with it. They get the lead runner. No chance at getting Douglas on the back end, but they deny a run from scoring, and now there's 2 away in the inning with still the bases loaded. Advancing to third was Meyer. Cox to second. And Douglas aboard at first for Connor Shively. Shively 1 for 2 in this game. He singled in the first and flew out in the third. Phillips trying to keep it a 1-run ball game. Now working from the windup. The pitch hit in the air center field. Patron moves over, makes the catch, and the Hornets leave the bases loaded. They still lead 1-0 as we go to the bottom of the fourth inning on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
Pacific Power works day in and day out to power our communities because we know our neighbors rely on us. We're trimming and clearing branches around poles and lines, protecting our system, and giving you real-time updates when storms roll in. You can count on us in all seasons. 24/7, we're here for you. Powering your greatness.
Bottom of the fourth inning on 104.3 and 960 Sports. Henley still leading the Phoenix Pirates 1-0. And as we take a look in the bottom of the fourth inning, it will be the middle of the Pirates order. Chris Phillips, Luke Jennings, Caden Sousa. That's 3, 4, 5 in the order. Bo Pyle still on the mound for Henley, throwing well so far, working with a shutout. He's really avoided trouble for the most part, too, in the second inning. Allowed a runner to get into scoring position, but otherwise has been solid throughout. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. And the count 1-1 to Chris Phillips. And talk about a guy who's throwing well. Chris Phillips, too. I mean, the pitcher for Phoenix, even though he's hitting right now, danced out of a tough situation in the top half of this inning. Here he takes the ball 2-1. Henley had the bases loaded with 1 out and was able to get out of it without allowing a run to come across. Made some big pitches to get out of that inning. Here's the 2-1 from Pyle. That one misses low as well. It's now 3-1. And Phillips, you make a strong case that he is maybe Phoenix's best player. Of course, what he does on the mound, but he also hits over 300. Here he takes the ball outside. And a 5-pitch walk allows him to reach base there, adding to his about 45% on-base percentage. And that'll bring up Luke Jennings with a runner on and no one out. For Pyle, that is the first walk issued today, and it comes in the bottom of the fourth. Jennings 1 for 1 today, singled back in the second inning. A move over to first. In fact, Pyle will just hold on to it, no throw. The pitch, Takini has to drop down and block the breaking ball that missed low. Count 1-0. Loud Phoenix dugout as well. They're looking to get into this ball game. Here's the pitch. Ground ball to third. Gets into the outfield, into left. And a single for Luke Jennings makes him 2 for 2 today, as Caden Sousa ready to step in. Sousa 0 for 1 today. He flew out in the second inning. But an RBI opportunity for the team's second leading hitter, batting .333 this season. 2 RBIs, all of his hits have been singles, but looking to come up big for his team here. A runner in scoring position, that's the tying run with the go-ahead run on base. Here he shows bunt. They're going to try to get them both in a scoring position, but a pitch that misses low is blocked by Takini. I like this for Phoenix, trying to answer Henley's small ball with a little bit of their own here. The corners will come in to protect the bunt. Middle infield playing ready for the double play. Cox there playing second. He's going to be able to put himself in a position to cover the first base bag if he needs to. Here is a bunt that rolls out in front of home plate. Throw down to first is in time. There Cox was to cover the bag. So laying down a sacrifice there for Sousa does put 2 runners in scoring position, though. Exactly how the Pirates drew it up with 1 out and Caden Cunningham at the dish. So far for Cunningham, 0 for 1. Reached on a fielder's choice and was left stranded in the second inning. So Bo Pyle going to go from the windup here with a runner on third and 1 out. The pitch swung on and missed by Cunningham, 0-1. Looked like the changeup there for Pyle. Corners playing straight away for Henley. They're not playing to get the lead run. Pyle going to step off as Coach Connor comes out of the dugout to discuss with his pitcher, Pyle. The infield comes in as well. The Hornets trying to maybe get on the same page a little bit out there. And while they give us a moment, we'll remind you that today's broadcast on 104.3 and 960 Sports is brought to you in part by Coldwell Banker Home and Premier Realty. Little things can add up to big bills when you're buying, selling, or owning your home. That's why Coldwell Banker Home and Premier Realty's exclusive Beyond the Sale guarantees protect buyers, sellers, and homeowners from unexpected repair bills. To learn more, call Coldwell Banker Home and Premier Realty today. Meeting on the mound is concluded. And looks like we're ready for baseball. So we'll reset the situation for you. It's an 0-1 count at the plate to Caden Cunningham. He bats in the bottom of the fourth inning with 2 runners in scoring position. Chris Phillips at third, Luke Jennings at second, and his team down 1-0. Bo Pyle looking to get himself out of this here. Now again working from the stretch. Here's the pitch. Swung on it, missed. That time a breaking ball from Pyle. Now ahead 0-2. Caden Darcy waits on deck. Pyle takes his time coming set and delivers that pitch low to Keeney. Keeps it in front of him. Good work there by the young catcher. Not letting anything get by him out there. 1-2. I've said it once, I'll say it before, and especially in situations with the tying run 90 feet away, a good catcher is invaluable. And Takini, just as a freshman, fits the bill. He did a great job blocking that one. Here's the 1-2, a chopper to third. It's actually going to be fielded by Shively. He'll throw on to first in time. And a run comes in to score. So the Phoenix Pirates tie us up at 1 in the bottom of the 4th inning. 2 away and a runner at third for Caden Darcy. Jennings moving up there to third. Darcy 1 for 1 today. Looking to drive in a go-ahead run here in the 4th inning. Here's the pitch. One misses low, 1-0. Pyle finds the zone low on that one, 1-1. Back to working out of the windup with the runner on third. Here's Pyle. Swung on and missed, a ball and 2 strikes. The count to Caden Darcy. Like we said, Darcy 1 for 1 today. That was, I believe, his first hit of the season. Looking to come up again for his team here. The pitch. Misses low. 2-2. After Darcy, it's Theo Hodgden. Pyle with the delivery. Hit in the air. Maybe playable. Nope, out of play behind first, and we'll do it again. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and a runner on third in a 1-1 ball game in the bottom of the 4th inning. Pyle looks in. Takini sets up outside. The pitch swung on and missed, and that will end the inning. But the Pirates score 1 on 1 base hit. They leave 1 stranded as we go to the 5th on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and Little League teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars. There are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, to retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
Ready to get things rolling in the top of the 5th inning of a 1-1 ball game. Our coverage of Henley baseball brought to you by the Pacific Power Foundation, who donated nearly $70,000 in 2024 to organizations like the Ross Ragland Theater, the Oregon Tech Foundation, and the UC Davis Foundation. First pitch to Mark Carpenter hits sky high out to shortstop. Schultz back a few steps. He'll put that one away for the first out. Phoenix tied the game in the bottom half of the 4th inning, so that's how we get to our 1-1 score after Henley plated 1 in the first. Looking to get a rally started. Already 1 quick out for the Hornets this inning. Here's Jacoby Takini. Takes that pitch low. 1-0. Looking at Takini so far today, 1 for 2. He singled and grounded out so far in the game, so put him at 1 for 2. Here's the pitch from Phillips. Hits that one hard, left field. Over is the left fielder, Darcy. He'll make the grab, and that's the second out. Well, Henley's hitting the ball hard all over the field today, but seemingly right at the outfielders. Here's Bo Pyle with 2 outs in the 5th. He's 1 for 2 today. Had an RBI double back in the first. And he struck out after that. A big bender from Phillips throws up Pyle, makes him take strike 1. Here's the delivery. Another curveball, and that one misses somewhere, I'm sure. Pyle will take that ball, 1-1. Looked over the plate. Might have been high if it missed anywhere, but Pyle in a 1-1 count. Here's the pitch on its way to Phillips. That one misses high, no question, 2-1. Have an opportunity to share some score updates with you from around the Skyline Conference. And with Henley softball as well, as the 2-1 misses high, 3-1. I took a look at Henley softball. It looks like potentially still scoreless. Not quite sure. Pyle hits one deep left field. That one is high. That one is carrying. That one is caught at the wall. And another one where Pyle got all of it. And it falls gracefully into the glove of the outfielder. Hornets down in order in the fifth, heading to the bottom half next on 104.3 at 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
Wait, all I do is wait. So lonely, I just sigh and moan. Seems like I've been waiting forever, wondering if you're coming home. I just saw your face, I know you're coming home. I swear there is no place that feels as good as home. And then I heard your voice, I know you're coming home.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coldwell Banker, where home begins.
Well, looking to give you some score updates. Unable to grab one for the Henley softball team just quite yet. In the bottom of the fifth inning here, it's 1-1. Between Henley and Phoenix baseball. Looking around the Skyline Conference before we get things going here. Looking at Hidden Valley playing Klamath Union in a doubleheader today. It looks like Hidden Valley leading Klamath Union 6-1 at this point in that ball game. Looks like the Mazama baseball team is leading right now against Modoc High School from Alturas. They're up 5-3. And also looks like the Mazama softball team leading Modoc 9-2. And the Klamath Union softball team trailing Hidden Valley 8-0 right now. That's best that we can give you at this point. Yesterday, Lost River a couple of wins over Cross Point Christian, 17-2 and 18-4. It's a 2-0 count right now as a foul ball makes it 2-1 to Theo Hodgson, then Luca Petrone, then Connor Cunningham. Due up this half inning for the Phoenix Pirates. Hodgson 0 for 1 in his previous at-bat today. Here's the pitch. Weak roller to third. Carpenter charging it. Sets his feet. Strong throw to first is not there. Corbin Hamilton couldn't squeeze it. And that will be an error, allowing Hodgson to reach first. If it were my book, I'd charge the error to the first baseman there, although we'll see exactly how our official scorer does it. Take a look here in just a moment. Regardless, it'll bring up Luca Petrone. That pitch is in the zone for a strike. And so that will, by the way, Hodgson reaching first is an E3. And so he's aboard. Here's the pitch to Petrone. Flared out towards right. That's going to get down in front of Pimley and a base hit. 2 on for the top of the Pirates order, Connor Cunningham. And how about that? Talk about comparing and contrasting these two teams. Henley hitting the ball hard all over the place. Luca Petrone hits that one off the end of the bat into right field. Not hit particularly hard, but you get the result you want. And at the end of the day, that's just baseball, really. Bo Pyle set against Cunningham. And this is hit foul down the third base side, 0-1. Looked like Phoenix could be trying to lay down a bunt with Cunningham showing a little speed out of the box. Could be trying to get those runners into scoring position again. Corners going to play in for Henley here. Middle infield at double play depth. This Pile comes set. Here's the pitch showing bunt. That one is not going to be bunted. A huge leadoff of second from Hodgson. They throw down, not going to get him. Did he pull back the bunt attempt in time? It looks like he did. 1-1. The count to Cunningham. Pyle trying to find the zone here. Cunningham certainly showing bunt. No, he pulls back the bunt, looking to swing away. Instead takes the pitch outside. 2-1. Runner at first is Patron. Hodgson at second. Cunningham 0 for 2 today, but looking to put his team in front to go ahead run in scoring position. 1-1, bottom of the fifth inning. The pitch. This is a line drive bunt back to the pitcher, Pyle. Turn and throw to second. They got him. And they try to go for a triple play. That one winds up almost into the dugout, but a 1-4 double play is going to make it 2 outs with a runner on first for Sam Schiltz. Schiltz 0 for 2 today, a couple of flyouts. Boy, does that change the complexion of this inning. Schiltz takes one high, 1-0. Cunningham couldn't get the bunt down. Sent it right back to Pyle, who caught it on the fly, turned around, and threw out the runner who wasn't able to tag back at second. Move over to first, and back safely is the runner, Patron. They nearly got him, but he slid in under the tag. Another move over to first. This time they got him. Patron was leaning. Second pickoff of the day for Pyle, and that will end the fifth inning. We'll go to the sixth, still tied at 1 on 104.3 and 960 Sports and on mybasin.com.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool.
On the field.
Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah! Be great.
Participate.
At mybasin.com, we bring you the power of local radio,
The pace and reach of social media,
The information of 24-hour news,
and the excitement of local sports.
We do this with a team of radio professionals that is second to none.
Klamath Falls is a community that we love and a place that we are proud to call home.
Klamath Falls deserves a media group that is as committed to you as you are to Klamath Falls.
mybasin.com is your go-to place for news,
sports, events, and everything going on at home in Klamath Falls.
Almost ready for baseball in the top of the sixth inning. A game tied at 1. Henley 1 run on 6 hits, 2 errors. They've left 5 runners on base. For Phoenix, 1 run on 5 hits, 1 error, and they have left 3 runners on base. Due up this half for Henley, it's going to be Corbin Hamilton, Ian Meyer, and Carson Pimley. First pitch to Hamilton. The outside breaking ball misses off the plate, 1-0. Hamilton led off the 4th inning with a single, wasn't able to come around to score. as he checks his swing there on a pitch downstairs, 2-0. That fourth inning was the last time Henley really had a good chance to score. They got the bases loaded with one out, but unfortunately were unable to cash in. Here, a ground ball sent out towards second. Jennings up with it. He throws on to first in time. One away in the sixth. Game moving along pretty quickly here. Again, first leg of a doubleheader today. Second game scheduled to start around 2 o'clock. Rarely do we ever hit the start of a 2 o'clock doubleheader. I'll tell you that much. But today, it might be the case. Stepping in is Ian Meyer. First pitch from Phillips. Misses low, 1-0. Looking at Meyer today, walked in the second. And he singled, was left stranded in that fourth inning, which I talked about a minute ago. Meyer hits one in the air, first base side. Back is the first baseman, Sousa, backpedaling, but makes the catch for the second out. And this will bring up Carson Pimley. Pimley still looking for his first hit of the day. Reached on a fielder's choice, though, in the second. And he grounded out in the fourth. Phillips doing a nice job of trying to keep these Henley hitters off balance here. Oh, this time, though, it comes in and hits Pimley. Two-seam fastball got him on the shoulder, so a two-out base runner. It changes things a little bit for Derek Cox. First base runner for Henley there in 9 batters. Here's Derek Cox, who was the last guy to get on base when he walked in the fourth. Decent lead off of first for Pimley as Phillips is set. That pitch misses high, 1-0. Time is called. It looks like we're going to have a quick meeting there between Cunningham and his pitcher, Phillips. Phillips has really done a fine job today against this Henley order. Try to give credit to the opposing team when they deserve it. And boy, and I think Henley fans would say he certainly deserves it today. Hornets have tried to get the best of him. They've had a couple of opportunities, but he just wiggles out of these jams. See if Henley can make something happen for themselves with a little two-out rally action. Pitch on its way. Finds the zone. 1-1. Cox, a freshman. Looking to make an impact and maybe stay up at the varsity level more than playing with the JVs. Here's the pitch. Curveball, ground ball to third. It's going to get into the outfield. Takes a hop over the third baseman's head, and a two-out single for Cox brings up Douglas as Pimley advances to second. That's the second time that a bouncing ball to third has eaten up Cunningham out there. Not sure if it's the cut of the grass or if there's a divot in the grass out there, but a couple of times he's been ready to field the ball, and it just takes a wicked hop over his head. And unfortunately for him, he's not a particularly tall player, but even if he was, I'm not sure if there's anything he could do about these. Here's a ground ball to him again. He's able to field it safely and tap on the bag at third for the force and end the inning. The Hornets leave two stranded, a base hit, but no runs, pushes us to the bottom of the sixth in a 1-1 ball game on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com.
It starts to warm up outside, it's time to tackle your lawn. And Kyle's Lawn Care is who to contact. Kyle's been doing lawn care in Klamath Falls for over 9 years. He offers a variety of services designed to make your life easier. Kyle's Lawn Care offers weekly mowing jobs, which includes mowing, edging, and blowing off sidewalks, snow removal, big cleanup jobs, dump runs, and more. At Kyle's Lawn Care, they strive to give each job their all and go the extra mile to exceed their customers' expectations. To get an estimate, you can call or text 541-281-3623. Kyle's Lawn Care.
Introducing Smith Bates Marcom Solutions, your trusted partner in marketing and communication. We specialize in crafting compelling campaigns, eye-catching graphics, and impactful branding materials.
Smith Bates is like working with dependable friends. They always help us build our professional image.
Through the innovative strategies that the team at Smith Bates suggested, we've been able to give the brand at Calor the boost that it desperately needed.
Unlock your potential with Smith Bates Marcom Solutions.
Getting ready for the bottom of the sixth inning. Henley and Phoenix tied up at 1. Phoenix trying to make a push and potentially take the lead here in the sixth as Sam Schiltz, Chris Phillips, and Luke Jennings due up to bat. That's 2, 3, 4 in the Phoenix order. You take a look inside the Phoenix dugout right now, all smiles. Everyone is standing on their feet. You'd think that they were up by 10 runs at this point. Here's the pitch. Misses high, 1-0. It's a big deal for them to be tied with Henley this late. And if you look over at the Hornets dugout, it's like the exact opposite. It feels like they are down by multiple runs. Here's the pitch. Taken for a ball outside, 2-0. Just some history between these two teams and why being tied this late is so significant. One number I look at is that Henley coming into this game on a 5-game winning streak, and during that span of games has outscored their opponents 67-9. Yeah, 67-9. That's outlandish. But that's what Henley's done over the past 5 games. Here they've only scored 1 run. The other number I look at, and I'll tell you after this 3-0 count to Sam Schiltz. Bile delivers a strike on the outer third, 3-1. The other thing I look at is that Henley is on a 14-game winning streak against Phoenix. Here's the pitch. Ground ball to short. Shively in the gap. Backhands it. Throw across the diamond. In time for the out. 14-game winning streak for the Hornets against Phoenix. That puts the Pirates' last win on May 5th, 2021. This would be a huge win for this team as they battle for what will likely be the 3rd spot in the Skyline Conference. Here's the pitch. Taken for a strike against Chris Phillips, 0-1. You look at the Skyline Conference standings right now. Of course, Henley paces the bunch, followed by Hidden Valley. And for anyone who has followed the Skyline Conference over the past decade plus, those two being at the top is no surprise to anyone. And Klamath Union is 2-2. They're in 3rd place right now. Phoenix is 1-3 right now. And if you look, if you're here to make assumptions, assume with me that Phoenix, it's an 0-2 pitch, misses wide, 1-2. Assume with me that Phoenix is able to end the losing streak against Henley and is able to come away victorious here. That would put them at 2-3. Assume that the score stays the same in Klamath Union's game right now, where they're trailing Hidden Valley. That would put them in a tie for that 3rd place spot, as Pyle delivers the 1-2 and got Phillips looking for strike 3. 2 away in the 6th for Luke Jennings. And assume with me that the second game of a doubleheader goes the similar way. That would put Phoenix in a solo hold of 3rd place. That would also put Hidden Valley in 1st place in the Skyline and would push Henley down to 2nd place. So a lot riding on this doubleheader today, even early in the season. It's an 0-1 count to Luke Jennings. Pitch misses outside, 1-1. Now, of course, Hornets are not thinking about that. They're thinking, well, we still get at least another at-bat in regulation. Got to make things happen. As that pitch misses down, 2-1. Jennings, then Sousa, waits on deck. And the Pirates, for their part, can't assume that they've won this game either, because they are still tied with one of the best teams in the state of Oregon. This one's hit in the air. Shallow right field. Back is the second baseman, Cox. He will make the catch and end the inning. The Pirates down in order in the 6th. To the 7th we go. Tied at 1 on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
The cars we drive play an important part of our everyday. Whether we're going to work, dropping off the kids at school, or maybe even on that first date. Vehicles we drive play an important role in all of that. And that's why at Klamath Falls Subaru, we are so passionate about getting you the long-lasting vehicle that you will love. When you come to our store, you'll find that every department is dedicated to caring for our customers, which is why I can proudly send anyone here knowing that they will be treated like family. Stop by and say hi. When you come to Klamath Falls Subaru, you're coming home.
Top of the 7th inning in a game tied at 1, and the top of the Henley order due up to try to break this tie and carry home a victory. Connor Shively, Mark Carpenter, and Jacoby Tacchini against Chris Phillips on the mound for Phoenix. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball doesn't break enough, misses 1-0. Shively awaits the delivery. Phillips taking his time, kicks, fires. Shively sends one in the air left field. That's going to get down. And a leadoff single for Connor Shively. The Hornets are in business in the 7th inning. Can't start off the inning any better way, really, for Henley. Not just trying to add one, trying to add a few here in the 7th. Make this a winnable ball game. Here's a guy you want up. It's Mark Carpenter, the league leader in batting average, the league leader in hits, and 4th in the conference in RBI. Here's the first pitch to Carpenter. A curveball is wrapped into left field. Shively to second base, back-to-back singles for the Hornets in the 7th inning. Two balls that, well, for Carpenter's sake, that was hit pretty hard on the ground, but even Shively's base hit again wasn't hit particularly hard, but it got down. Counter that with how the game was going earlier, where you hit the ball hard right at somebody. It's all a part of the process. Henley understands it, and now they find themselves with 2 on and nobody out in the 7th inning in a tie ball game, and Jacoby Tacchini at the plate. Tacchini showing bunt, lays it down the third base line. It's foul, and an 0-1 count. Tacchini 1 for 3 today, grounded out and flew out, but he singled in the 3rd. He's the league leader in runs batted in this season. As a matter of fact, among active players, I believe he's also 2nd in the conference in batting at .432. Phillips going to step off, and Coach Hutchinson going to come out and have a conversation with his pitcher. This is decision time for Coach Hutchinson. Do you leave Chris Phillips out there, who has just thrown a great game so far, all things considered, or do you take him out of the game because he's in some hot water in the late going? Do you trust your guy who's brought you this far? If it was me, I'd say you got to. So many times in baseball history have guys been taken out only for the bullpen to let the game slip away. Phillips is staying out there. Tacchini an 0-1 count after trying to lay down that bunt. Brought the whole infield in, did Coach Hutchinson as well to that meeting, probably deciding what they want to do if Tacchini tries to lay down a bunt again. He's choked up pretty high on the bat, and here he is as Phillips comes set. He's showing bunt. Phillips delivers. It's low. Both runners going. Shively safely at 3rd. A double steal for the Hornets. 2 in scoring position for Tacchini. And a 1-1 count at the plate. Tacchini's getting first. And what for? I'm not sure. Did it hit him? So they intentionally walk Tacchini to load the bases, put a force out at any base. And here's Bo Pyle, your cleanup hitter with the bases loaded and nobody out. Curveball finds the zone, strike one. Infield comes in for Phoenix. They're going to try to cut down the runner. Porter Frost running for Tacchini at first. Here's the pitch to Pyle, and the man who's the starting pitcher for Henley trying to put his team over the top. Line drive to center field. Back to tag is Shively. It is caught. Shively not prepared to tag up. He thought it was going to be a base hit and didn't tag, and so now 2 away for Corbin Hamilton. He froze on the line drive. That's typically what they'll teach you to do, but on a ball that's going to the outfield, want to get in a position to tag it. Unfortunately, for the Hornets, it wasn't there for Shively. So Corbin Hamilton will have his turn to try to put Henley in front in the top of the 7th inning. Here's the pitch. That one is going to get behind the catcher, Cunningham. Breaking for the plate is Shively. He scores. Henley up 1 in the late going on a pass ball. Both also other runners move up. Carpenter to third. Frost to second. And here's Hamilton at the plate in a 1-0 count. Infield still in for Phoenix. Hamilton sends a fly ball to center. Carpenter going to tag. It's going to get down in front of the center fielder. Mark Carpenter is going to score. Porter Frost to third, and an RBI single for Corbin Hamilton puts Henley up 3-1. Runners at the corners now for Ian Meyer. Meyer steps in, takes his time in doing so. He's 1 for 2 today with a single back in the 4th inning. Looking to tack on some more. Instead, he shows bunt. Meyer steps out of the box for strike one. I think they thought he may have wanted to bunt there. Instead, he pulls back, steps out of the box, and just takes strike one. Maybe just a bit of a miscommunication with the signs there. Coach Teeters re-delivers them at third as Meyer steps back in. Long pause on the mound for Phillips. Here Meyer shows bunt again, lays one down the first base line. A foot race to the bag. Phillips isn't able to squeeze the underhand toss. A run comes in to score, and Meyer is aboard at first. E1 scores a run, and Henley up 4-1. Chase Barrett going to come in and run for Meyer. Might be a full replacement with Teeters coming down and having a discussion. Wouldn't surprise me, though, as a designated hitter there for Meyer. So Barrett running there at first. Frost coming in to score. Hamilton now at second. Still one away for Carson Pimley. Henley scoring 3 here in the top of the 7th inning. Phillips set. Pitch to Pimley is hit foul behind first base, 0-1. Derek Cox waiting on deck. 3 base hits this inning, a walk and an error have allowed Henley to score 3 runs. And looking to tack on more, still just 1 away in the inning. Phillips is set. The catcher Cunningham sets up outside. This one's hit in the air in the infield. Should be an infield fly, and Pimley's out. And this will bring up Derek Cox now with 2 away. Cox looking to tack on more. Runner in scoring position is Hamilton with 2 outs. Aboard at first is Chase Barrett. Phillips comes set. Delivers the pitch to Cox. Ground ball to third. Gloved by the third baseman, Cunningham. He throws across to first. And a nice stretch by the first baseman, Sousa, to put that one away and end the inning. But the Hornets score 3 on 3 base hits. They leave 2 stranded. To the bottom of the 7th we go in a 4-1 ball game on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
Sports was kind of what defined me as a person. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see 2 things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys, and I want to see my high school. And those are the 2 memories that stick out the most to me.
As a parent of a high school athlete, I've given up trying to get pictures of my kid playing sports. It's nearly impossible to take pictures and enjoy the game. There is a solution, though. God's Gifts Photography attends high school sporting events in the Basin to take individual and team action photos at a great price. Search God's Gifts 2 on Facebook to learn more. They'll come and capture your athlete in action, creating those frameable lifelong memories so you can watch and just enjoy the moment. Call 541-281-2206 to get your athlete on their schedule. God's Gifts Photography.
Bottom of the 7th inning, the Hornets looking to close this one out as they lead 4-1. Standing in the way is Caden Sousa, Caden Cunningham, and Caden Darcy. So far today for Sousa, 0 for 2, a fly out and a pop out. Here a foul ball, fouled right back into the mask of Takini. He looks to be okay. 0-1. Probably rung his bell a little bit, but that's what happens when you have the catcher behind home plate. That's why he got all that gear on after all. Looks to be okay. Tough kid. And an 0-1 count to Caden Sousa. Here's the pitch. That one is low, 1-1. First leg of a doubleheader today. The second game starting probably right around 2 o'clock unless we wind up in extra innings of this one. Here's the 1-1. Swung on and missed. 1-2. Pyle delivers. That one a check swing. Did he go? No, he did not. A 2-2. Count to Sousa. Again, Cunningham waiting on deck. Henley scored 3 runs in the top half of this inning to build a 3-run lead. Now looking to close the door. Pitch. Called strike 3. Got Sousa looking for the first out in the 7th inning. Now it's Caden Cunningham, who is 0 for 2 today. He reached on a fielder's choice in the 2nd. Sacrifice in the 4th gave him an RBI. Line right back up the middle and into center field, a base hit. With 1 out in the 7th inning, puts a runner on for Darcy. Darcy's 1 for 2 today, singled in the 2nd, struck out in the 4th. Pitch from Pyle. That one is in there for a strike, 0-1. Pyle set. Kicks and delivers. Bouncing ball to third. Carpenter knocks it down. Has to make the throw to first and got him. Carpenter recovers in time and a great throw gets the 2nd out. Boy, that was a crazy throw from Carpenter. He had to hit 80 on that throw. one of the best pitchers in the state throwing across the diamond, had some heat on it for the second out. In the meantime, though, advancing to second is Cunningham. Here's Theo Hodgson. Oh, pardon me. They've got a new hitter in for Hodgson. Looks like, I'll get that who it is in just a moment. Looks like number 10. And, well, wouldn't you know, I don't have a number 10 on the roster. Got to take a look at this here lineup card. And number 10 is Marsing. Andre Marsing. And he is in an 0-1 count and is the last chance for the Pirates. Pyle, the delivery. Misses wide. 1-1. Pyle gathers the sign from Takini. Shakes him off the first opportunity. Now comes set. Takini setting up outside. And the pitch. Curveball. Fisted foul down the first base sign. 1-2. Hit off the inside of the bat. It was a pitch that started in on Marsing's hands. Was starting to break back across the zone. So just tried to fight it off. Did a fine job, but still behind in the count. 1-2 as the Pirates down to their final strike. Pyle set, delivers, pitch in the dirt. Runner on the move will get into third base safely as Cunningham swipes third base. And the count is now 2-2. And Takini saying what we all know, that run at third ultimately doesn't matter all that much. Pyle just has to come right after Marsing on a 2-2 pitch. Hit in the air, foul. Pyle back on the rubber. Stares in. Marsing's back in the box. Pyle comes set. Kicks, delivers a curveball. Hit in the air. Shallow left. The shortstop, Shively, loses it in the sun. And a run comes in to score. Looked like that was Carpenter, actually, who was coming over to try to lose it in the sun there. Unfortunate. And a run comes in to score. Now a runner aboard at first. Here's Luca Patron, represents the tying run. Pyle set. First pitch to Patron. It's looked at for a ball, 1-0. Looking at Patron today, 1 for 2. Struck out in the third, singled in the fifth. Trying to keep this game alive for his team. Move over to first, and back safely is Marsing. That pitch misses wide. They count 2-0. So that play at third where Carpenter lost it in the sun, scored as an error. So that run that came across was unearned, and therefore any other runs that would score during this inning unearned as well. Big lead off of first for Marsing. This is a line drive, foul down the right field line. And the count 2-1. After Patron, the Phoenix lineup flips over for Connor Cunningham and then Sam Schiltz. Pyle comes set and delivers. Hit in the air, playable into right field. And no one is going to call each other off. It gets down. Right fielder coming in, didn't call off the second baseman, and that's going to get down for a base hit. Runners at the corners, tying run on base for the top of the Phoenix order. It's Connor Cunningham. The Hornets in trouble with 2 outs in the inning. Cunningham 0 for 3. Team's leading hitter. Trying to come up big, and this is going to cause Craig Connor to come out of the dugout for Henley, the pitching coach. Unsure exactly what there is to discuss. Pilot 100 pitches, so he's nearing the mark for being pulled anyway, but let's see. I mean, 2 playable balls for the infield probably should have ended the game, realistically, for Henley. I think they know that. So Henley's making a pitching change. And let's see how things are moving around. So we're going to have some changes for Henley. We'll discuss it on the other side as they look to close the door next on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and Little League teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars. There are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, to retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
New pitcher in for the Henley Hornets is Mark Carpenter. A couple of other switches for Henley as Bo Pyle stays in the game. He'll move over to second base. And Derek Cox, who was playing second base, now moves over to third. So there you go for Henley as Bo Pyle unable to finish this game out after a couple of unfortunate miscues have led to a situation with runners at the corners and the tying run on base for Phoenix. It was 2 outs in the first 3 batters for Henley, but an error and a single, which probably isn't in the book as an error, but dropped between 2 guys who each thought the other was going to go catch it. So that's it. That's a base hit, but back-to-back miscues to keep this game alive for Phoenix. Here's the pitch. Carpenter is going to find the zone. 0-1. Takini giving signs to the whole infield. Carpenter set with the 0-1. Here's the pitch. Looked at for strike 2. Carpenter finds the outer third as Cunningham Carpenter set. Ready for the final strike. Looked at for strike 3. That is the ball game. And the Henley Hornets are victorious. And someone has just been ejected from Phoenix. Unsure who exactly just got ejected. The Hornets are winners. 4-2 the final. We'll be back to recap it all for you on 104.3 and 960 Sports with delayed video on mybasin.com.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coldwell Banker, where home begins.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 120,000 participants here in Oregon who take part in high school sports or activities.
Introducing Smith Bates Marcom Solutions, your trusted partner in marketing and communication. We specialize in crafting compelling campaigns, eye-catching graphics, and impactful branding materials.
Smith Bates is like working with dependable friends. They always help us build our professional image.
Through the innovative strategies that the team at Smith Bates suggested, we've been able to give the brand at Calor the boost that it desperately needed.
Unlock your potential with Smith Bates Marcom Solutions.
Josh Eldridge back with you on 104.3 and 960 Sports, mybasin.com. 4-2 the final. Henley victorious over Phoenix. 4 runs, 10 hits, 2 errors for Henley. And they left 9 runners on base in the game. For Phoenix, 2 runs on 7 hits, 2 errors. They left 5 hitters on base during the game. Your winning pitcher today is Bo Pyle, working 6 2/3 innings, giving up 7 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned. He struck out 6. And for Phoenix, the losing pitcher, Chris Phillips, working a complete game, 7 innings, 10 hits, 4 runs, 2 earned, walked 3, struck out 1. Getting the save today was Mark Carpenter, worked the final third of an inning and got a strikeout to push Henley to victors. Want to highlight our Pacific Power play of the day today. And to do that, I am going to go ahead and give it to Corbin Hamilton, who gave Henley the lead in the 7th inning and helped them to this 4-2 win. Hamilton finished 2 for 4 today and an RBI, earning the Pacific Power play of the day. Connor Shively was 2 for 4. Mark Carpenter 2 for 4. Those are your offensive notables today for Henley, who again finished with 10 hits total. Game 1 of a doubleheader completed today. We're going to take a short break, about 20 minutes. For those of you listening on the radio on 104.3 and 960 Sports, you'll be returned to Fox Sports Radio for just a few minutes before we get ready for the next one. For those of you who are watching our delayed broadcast on mybasin.com, it'll be like we were never gone. Just going to take a quick dip to black, and we'll be back on 104.3 and 960 Sports and online on mybasin.com. This is Josh Eldridge saying, just see you soon.